Hey guys, so this is all of our op art projects that I'm putting all together in one. I had a problem with my voiceover before, so you're gonna see me talking, and my voice is not gonna match my picture in the video. So that's okay, just ignore that. This is what we need for all 4 projects. We need a piece of paper, so 4 pieces of paper. We're gonna need colors. I prefer colored pencils. You can use crayons. I prefer not markers, but if that's all you have, then we'll work with it. A ruler, a pencil sharpener, an eraser, and also something to outline your work with, so any kind of marker. I also forgot that in the very last project, we are going to use something to trace, a circle piece, so if you have something that's circle, and you just need to use that last project, please use something to trace at the end. Okay, now let's start. Alright, so project 1 is op art hands. So we're going to start by tracing our hand. Our hand needs to be in the center of our paper. We are lightly tracing it. Again, we are lightly tracing it. I'm making mine dark so you can see it on camera. Lightly trace your hand, and you are going to make it go off the page. Okay, don't just draw the hand part. Make sure you draw your wrist going into your arm completely off the page. Now we are taking our ruler and we are drawing lines across the whole page, straight lines. So if you want to use my ruler tip, I take my ruler, I kind of line my finger up with the side of my paper. That way it is straight and it stays straight across the whole thing. So we are also lightly drawing these lines too, because we are going to erase some of them. So make sure you draw them light until we like how they look, and then we will darken them later. So we're going to do that for the whole background across everything. Alright, so now that we have our lines done, we're going to go to part 2. And we are connecting our straight lines, and everything inside of our hand we are going to turn into a curved line, not a straight line. So we're going to go from one side of the hand, I'm marking both sides, and then I'm going to make a curve motion connecting both sides together, like so. And I'm going to do that for the whole inside of the hand. So background is straight, inside curved. And then I'm erasing that original straight line that I have. So if you are using lined paper, what you need to do is I still want you to draw your lines on the background using that gray color. Then you're going to erase to really show that blue color. And then it's going to help your mind kind of remember being like, hey, gray means keep, and then blue means it's not there. So curve lines on the inside, erase those lines in the middle. Alright, for the outlining, so what we're going to do is I'm just taking my outlining tool, whatever color you choose. Just remember, it's straight on the background, curve over the hand, straight on the background. And I'm going to repeat that for the whole drawing. And at the very end, I'm just going to erase it to make sure there's no more pencil lines, so it looks nice, clean, and fresh for when I start coloring. Alright, so coloring, you're going to pick 2 colors that you like, and we're going to rotate and alternate them. So one line goes one color, next line goes the other color. Basically very simple. If you have line paper, I would use a dark blue or a light blue, and then pick another dark color to go with it. That way it's covering up those lines, and it's not going to get too confusing with a bunch of different lines. So you really want to be able to see the illusion. So if you are using line paper, remember dark color and some kind of blue. So I'm going to show you just a little bit on coloring. I'm coloring the whole line a solid color. So I'm starting with orange. Remember, you could pick any color that you want. Color. And then after I color the whole line, I am then going to darken the very edges of where my hand actually is. So I'm coloring like a medium pressure on the hand part. And then I'm going in with the color, darkening the very outside. See how I made that a little darker? This is going to create a shadow, so I'm doing it for the whole hand, everywhere around it. So where that curved part meets the straight edge, okay? Where the curved part meets the straight part, that's where that shadow is going to go. So then I'm switching my color to purple, and I'll show you right there as well. And then I will super speed through the rest of the coloring, because then you guys would probably get the idea. So here we go, color, and then darkening around the hand. So we're going to do that for the whole outside of the hand, and you're going to color the whole piece of paper. Alright, and then Op Art hand project is done, and that's the finishing product. I colored it really terrible because I went really fast. Here's another example of it. Really take your time and make them look really nice. Right into project number 2. This is the spider web op art. So you're going to start by putting a dot right in the middle of your paper, and we're going to divide the outsides of our paper into 8 or 10 sections. It's really important to keep an even number. So I'm taking my ruler, I'm going at a diagonal from my dot all the way off the paper. Remember, I'm going to make sections, so 8 to 10. Little like pizza pie sections. So there would be one section, and I'm going to keep going around the whole thing. If you end up with 7 or 9, make sure you add another line to make another section. It's really, really, really important that they're all even. So pick any of your sections to start with, and we are going to make frowny faces. So frowny faces, some people call them ends, some people call them hills. Whatever you call them, you're going to make them in that section. And it's really important to remember how many you make. So I made 4 in that section. And so I'm going to skip a section, repeat the frowny faces in the next section. So make sure you skip, repeat. So same number, I made 4. So I'm going to make 4 into that section. I'm going to skip 4, skip 4, skip 4. If you make 6, then you're going to put 6 in each of them. Okay, it's really important to keep them the same. Now what I'm doing is I'm connecting my frowny faces with a happy face. So I am going happy face or U shape or valley, whatever you want to call it. But I'm putting the same number, so I have 4. If you have 10, you're going to make 10. I'm making 4 happy faces, and each part of my happy face is connecting the frowny faces. So as I go along, you will see that they're going to start creating this kind of like up and down looking effect. And it also kind of looks like that SpongeBob flower that they have in the sky in that cartoon. So you're going to make that. So now coloring. Okay, so you need 2 different colors. Okay, I'm using red and green, so you're going to color alternating each color. And it's really important right here is after you color them, you're just going to take your color that you have and you're going to darken the sides, and that's going to create that shadow look. So again, you're going to switch your colors, doing alternating colors, and then darkening the very outside to make that shadow. And you're going to color the whole thing. And that completes our project number 2, OpArt Spider Web. So there's the finishing it. Make sure yours looks better than mine, please. Okay, let's go into project 3. Project 3 is Op Letters. So we are gonna do a letter and make it pop out. And do those cool illusion effects. So first you're gonna do is pick a letter that you wanna do. So your first initial, last initial, some kind of letter. So I did an S. I am making it lightly. Repeat, lightly. We're making it big and bold. So bold means thick, but we're making it very light, okay? Because we don't want to see our lines at the very end. So do it lightly. I'm making mine a little bit darker so you can see it on camera, but yours should be really, really light. So after you have your symbol, you're going to put a dot anywhere in the background. Do not put your dot in your letter. Do not put your dot in your letter, okay? Put it in the background, all right? Once you have your dot, you're going to take your ruler and you are going to put some lines making like that spiral kind of effect. So start with your dot and go off the page, just like I'm doing here, and you're going to do that for the whole paper. So continue all the way around, making a circle around that dot. All right, now take your two colors, any two colors that you want, and we're gonna color the background. So I'm starting with my brown. Remember, you can be any colors you want. I'm coloring the background. I am skipping over the letter section. All right, skipping over it. Do not color your letter yet. Just skip over it. We're just doing the background. So I'm going around my letter and coloring it, making it look nice, and then we'll get to our letter. So you're gonna alternate colors. So my first color is brown, so I'm coloring that whole section brown, and then I'm going to move to the next section and color it my next color, and then the next color, and so on and so forth. Alright, so your background is done. Now we're moving on to the letter coloring. So, thing to keep in mind is you're coloring the opposite letter. So if your background is blue, it's going to be brown letter coloring. Okay, if your background is brown, then you're going to put blue letter coloring. So whatever your section background is, it's going to be the opposite color. All right, and that is my finished project number 3, op art letters. So please, please, please make sure yours looks really good and colored really nicely. I'd also make sure your letter looks really good too. My letter kind of looks a little weird, but make sure yours looks really nice. So there is project number 3. All right, last project, project number 4, op art circles, and it's going to have a really cool background as well. So this is when we're going to need something to trace. You need 2 things to trace. You need a larger circle and kind of a medium circle. You don't want anything too small, like a water bottle lid. My small, quote-unquote, small circle is a mason jar. So keep that in mind. Maybe use a cup for your small one and a bowl for your larger one. But you want them kind of big, but you still want room in the background to do a background as well. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just marking the centers so then I can put an X or a cross or a target within the inside. So now I am marking about a finger's width from each of those lines, and I'm adding curved lines to them. Then rotating it and adding the same lines to the outside. So making them curved should look something like that. So now I'm going to work on the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a circle. And I'm going to bold all my circles, making them rings. So bold just means you're adding 2 layers to it. So that's what I'm going to do right there, adding 2 layers. And then I am adding a rainbow to the inside. So that's the best way to describe it, is I'm just going to add a bunch of rainbow rings to the inside. And that's going to make the illusion of going into like a hole. So my background looks like it's going to have a hole into the background, into like a spiraled unknown. So I just made a little bit of horseshoes, and then I just put a bunch of lines, circles in the background, and then I started coloring. So you're going to take 2 colors. My example is black and white. However, I don't want yours black and white. You need to pick 2 different colors. So I'm coloring the circles like checkers, and then my background's going to alternate the color, whatever color I pick. Mine just so happens to be black and white, so I did black and white stripes. Yours are not going to be black and white, so keep that in mind. Pick really good colors. And make yours look really nice. Look how sloppy mine looks right now. Okay, make yours look really nice. Take your time on this. And there is my final project for project number 4, op art circles. Then you're going to turn all 4 of them into canvas. Thank you.